Welcome to Rick's Corner. I have a guest today who's a bodybuilder. He's a friend of mine, trains at my gym. He's been training for several years and he's competing. And I spotted him and I thought he'd be a good guy to talk about what he does in training, how his nutrition works, what his best results come from, what his routine is, and all the ins and outs of the business. Because you guys who watch write to me constantly and you're stuck. You don't know what to do about what to eat and how to train, and it's really crazy. So I want to introduce Jay Bednar. It's Bednar, right?
Bednar.
I got that right.
You got the first try?
The funny thing is, I had a guy write to me just the other day, and he said, did the protein diet of the 70s, which was high protein, low carb, work? Does it work today? Well, duh.
Right.
The body hasn't changed, right?
Right.
It's the same body, the same human body, and of course it works. So he says, will it make me fat? And then I said, yeah, you're going to get fat.
Right.
So he writes back to me and says, oh, I don't know what to do now. I'm really depressed. I don't want to get fat. I said, I'm kidding. Couldn't take a joke, It's
Right.
like, and we all know that carbs do that. So
Sure.
where are you from originally?
Canton, Ohio. That's where the Pro Football Hall of Fame is.
Yeah, of course.
So.
And what brought you out here?
Initially, my wife's school. She was in chiropractic school, and then we moved back to Ohio for a little bit, and then realized how much we missed it here, so we moved back.
Is she still in school there? Or still in chiropractic school here, or not?
No. Well, she is a licensed chiropractor, but she's kind of moved on to in the financial world. That
business is pretty competitive, right?
It is. I mean, it's a great profession. It's just hard to get going.
Yeah,
for sure.
It's something you can always do.
Right. Absolutely.
And so you were training back then, obviously.
Yeah.
What year did you start training?
I'm working out as long as I can remember. My dad had his own little gym in the basement, so I've been training since I was 10 years old, really. But
really?
When my parents got me a personal trainer when I was 12 years old to get me faster for football and baseball.
Right.
And then my brother-in-law, who's a world champion powerlifter, started training me when I was 14, and it's kind of been what I've been doing ever since.
That's interesting. Did your training start with powerlifting?
Absolutely. Yep.
It's a good base.
Yeah, I'm very grateful for that base that I built through that. So.
I mean, I did too. I started way back in Vegas with powerlifting, and I was good. My bench was 455, and I was squatting like 470, and deadlifting. And it builds that foundation of muscle so you can move forward. Mm-hmm. And there's really no shortcuts there.
No,
you're either strong or you're not.
That's it.
Just the way it is. And even back then, there were no drugs, so I mean, it's like I think it was protein pills, vanilla flavors.
Right. I've heard of those.
Yeah, they were horrible, like caramel. And so you started with the powerlifting, and then would you want to go into body sculpting and shaping your body like a bodybuilder?
Yeah, well, we did powerlifting, but my brother always had Flex and Muscular Development and all the magazines laying around, and I just kept looking through pictures, and then we started going to the Arnold Classic every year.
Yeah.
My Canton's about 2 hours from Columbus, where the Arnold is every year.
Right.
So I just kept seeing all the bodybuilders, and I got hooked on it, So
it's addictive.
And I just loved seeing my body change, so I wanted to focus more on that aspect of it.
I saw some pictures of you, which I'm going to put on here, that were really awesome.
Thank you.
Really good.
Thank you.
Your training back then, did you know much about diet?
Not at all.
Nobody does.
No, I just I knew to up my protein and eat everything else in sight. So.
Did you?
Yeah, that's what I did.
You didn't get fat?
No. I lucky with pretty fast metabolism, so I never, I was the kid when I was young with my ribs showing and everything.
Really?
So the more I eat, the more I grow. So it kind of just works out nicely for me.
I can't get rid of this cough, you guys. I'm sorry. It's a winter cold. Your training now, has it changed a lot since you started?
Definitely.
In what regard?
Coming from the powerlifting background, it took me a long time to get away from the mentality of you got to train heavy, which I still do train heavy, but I'm very, very much concerned with time under tension now, as opposed to pushing crazy heavy weights. I'll still get up heavy and push every once in a while, but for me, it's all about making the muscle work, and especially after my shoulder surgery this year.
Yeah, you had that, I remember.
I've pretty much been forced into it, and it's almost been a blessing, because I'm seeing my muscles start to develop in new ways just from really focusing on the contraction.
And not going heavy.
Exactly.
What about reps?
Reps, to be honest, I've been back now training for 12 weeks. I haven't gone over 20s on dumbbell curls. Haven't gone over 25s on a bench. I've been doing 15 to 20 reps of everything, and I've been growing just using that.
Isn't that crazy?
It's amazing.
Back when I was training Arnold, the guys, we did the concentration drills, we'd be up to 65s.
Right.
If I do 25 now, I'm lucky.
Right.
It's heavy.
Sure.
But it seemed to work.
Yep.
And back then, you couldn't have told me it would work. You know, I got to go heavy. I'm not going to grow unless I go heavy.
Until you do it, you won't believe it.
I know. You got to try it. How's your diet nowadays?
Great. I'm pretty moderate in terms of, I'm pretty much 30% across the board. Right now I'm eating a little bit more protein and carbs than I am fat, but for the most part I keep it pretty moderate. Moderate protein, moderate carbs, moderate fat.
20 times a day.
6 to 7 usually.
Are these small amounts?
Yeah, usually.
Where do you get your carbs from?
Mostly white rice, oats, and then I'll have bananas and apples, stuff like that. So
yeah, that's all good stuff.
Yeah.
How about sugars and cakes and cookies?
Don't do it. Well, Saturday night. Saturday night is our one night of the week.
Gotta have that night.
It's typically sushi and then some kind of dessert. So that's typically...
That's exactly. We went out for sushi last night. We came back here, and I had some cinnamon danishes that I had at Christmas, and so we split one. And it was good for the moment. And then, after you eat that, then you think, I don't know why I did that.
Yeah.
But it was gone by today.
Right.
A little fiber and it's done.
That's it.
How many days a week are you training?
Actually training 7 days a week now. Kind of found that I get a better, I think overtraining is kind of people overestimate.
Depends on the person.
Right, for sure. But, instead of me doing, 4 days and 3 days rest or whatever, I felt I can stay a little bit leaner by training every day, and now I'm getting a little bit more repetition of the muscle groups. So by spreading my lifting training out over 7 days, I'm now burning more calories without having to do the cardio, so I can build a little bit easier.
How many sets per body part? Excuse me.
Typically 15 to 20, depending on the more on the lower end for arms.
Is that broken up between 3 or 4 exercises?
Usually, yeah, 3 to 4. 3 to 4, I would say.
Damn, I can't get rid of this cough. And you split your body parts how daily?
So I basically do chest by itself, back, arms, shoulders, and then legs. And
each separately?
Each separately. And then I'll do back and arms again for the full 7 days.
I tried that. I was always a believer on twice a week.
Right.
Before me, the guys before me would always train 3 times a week.
Sure.
Like Steve Reeves and those guys. But they'd do 3 days a week, and then they'd be off 4 days a week.
Right.
And they made tremendous gains, and there wasn't any drugs back then either. But you look at Steve Reeves with his shoulders and arms, a small waist.
Right.
3 exercises, 3 sets, that type of thing, 3 days a week. And back in those days, doing the body part 3 times a week actually grew.
Sure.
Because I had rest days.
Right.
But then I went to the twice a week like the rest of the guys down at Gold's and Bennett's, and we did twice a week on each body part. But we would do chest and back one day, shoulders and arm one day, and legs the next.
Okay.
And then repeat the cycle.
Right.
Repeat the cycle. Maybe sometimes take a day off. And I trained at Bill Grant, and we do 4 days a week. We tried Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. And having those days off, I really made some progress.
Sure.
In your head, we all know that days off, to us, we feel like we're losing everything.
Right.
It's just psychological.
Oh, sure.
And I took last week, I took a couple of days off. I was sick. And I came back. I'm not still sick. I just have this stinking cough.
Right.
And I came back stronger.
Sure.
Just
makes sense.
2 days off.
Well, I will say that I've been doing that because these last 12 weeks have been more rehab than anything. So I'm not doing intense workouts right now. That's why I've been able to do every week.
Yeah.
I normally will have rest days in there, and I'm actually getting ready to start a 4 day on, 3 day off split, but training twice a day on those 4 days.
Okay.
So that I'll still be able to get 8 workouts in a week, but I'll have 3 full off days. So I'm definitely working those back in. It's just
when you do a double split, what do you do on that day?
So like what I'm getting ready to start is I'll do like chest and bis in the morning, shoulders and tris in the evening, and then chest and bis and then back, and then shoulders and tris and then legs. And I'm doing that Tuesday, Thursday, and then I'll repeat on Saturday, Sunday.
Do you have the energy towards the end of the day for that second workout?
Yeah, as long as the post workout nutrition is in order after the first workout, I'm usually fine for the second one.
Do you eat before you train?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What do you have?
Typically just a shake, maybe a scoop of protein with like a half cup of oats or something like that.
Do you take any vitamins or pills along with that? Supplements?
Oh yeah, a whole myriad of things.
So do I. Do you know if they all work or not?
No,
we don't know.
Better safe than sorry, right?
Exactly. That's how I look at it. And then after your workout, you have a post-workout drink?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I'll actually do an intra-workout drink with high glycemic carbs and aminos and protein, and then usually I'll do that big enough so I'm kind of finishing it at the end, so it's intra-post. It's kind of both.
It helps because so many people come to the gym that we've seen, they don't eat in the morning, they don't eat after the workout, they eat late in the day.
Right.
And I never got that.
Right.
And they don't make any progress.
Well, yeah.
You have to have that food.
Absolutely. I've been doing a lot of reading. John Berardi, who's a nutritional biochemist, but a lot of he's basically focused on the post-workout, the post-workout window of nutrition. And just after his research, I would never not come prepared with my meals for the workout. So
yeah, I'm a total believer of that.
Absolutely.
You've just got to have that nutrition. Even back in the days, I always ate 5-6 times a day. A lot of times at night, all of us guys would meet at Zucchi's Deli in Santa Monica. We finish off the night at 10:30 with a cheese omelet and cottage cheese.
There you go.
And go to bed. And
right.
That was your protein for the night. What's your future plans in bodybuilding?
Well, I'm making a big push. be doing nationals in 2014. You know, hopefully, my goal is top 5 there, and then, you know, within the next 2 or 3 years, hopefully get that pro card.
Good.
So that's the goal.
I have one question because I saw your pictures.
Sure.
You've really got great delts.
Oh yeah.
And you know that.
Sure.
Where'd they come from?
Genetics.
Is it really?
I mean, I don't get me wrong. I train them hard, but not. I don't do anything secret or special differently than the rest of my body part, and they just grow like that.
And what do you do for them?
You know, it's kind of one of those things where it's not even any like plan. You know, I mean, I'll do a lot of presses. I'll do a lot of laterals. That's
I mean, the same thing everybody does.
Pretty much, yeah. Like I said, I don't do anything unique or anything for them. They just happen to grow.
You know, back when we were training down at the beach, we did this thing up the line and down the line presses.
Sure.
We do this thing. We'd start with 25s or 20s and go all the way up to 65s or 70s,
right?
Nonstop, and then all the way back down again. Yep. One set up, one set down. That was it. Then
right.
The same thing with laterals, all the way up, all the way down, and that was the delt workout.
Right.
And I have to think, back then I had some pictures in the gym out of the skylight. My delts were just really nice and round and thick.
Sure.
And that's because of that.
Right. Absolutely.
And it just worked really well. Today, I mean, I have shoulder injury and I have elbow injury, and so I can't do those things I used to do. But I'll do the presses and the laterals and whatever I can. What do you think about the machine that Selectorize for the laterals?
It's good in a sense that you have to really be able to control you have to really have that mind muscle connection to be able to work that. And it's even taken me a while to find the exact spot where I feel comfortable. So,
but you can find it.
Oh, you can, absolutely. You got to mess around with it a little bit, but I'm way more comfortable with dumbbells just because that's my
I switch them off, but anytime I get on a machine, whether it's the press machine or those lateral machines, my mind, I shut my eyes and I visualize I'm using dumbbells.
Right.
And if you get the visual that you're doing something like that and you turn it on a certain way, you will feel that you're using dumbbells and you'll get the results.
Absolutely.
If you're just throwing the weight around there, not going to work.
Well, another thing I do with that machine is instead of holding onto the handles, I'll actually straighten my arms out just like you're holding a dumbbell.
I'll make my fist with my thumbs down and I'll come up.
And that's exactly it.
It's the same thing. The handles to me are out of the way.
Yeah, that's it. That's exactly it.
So we need to reinvent the machines.
Right. That's exactly
Even the curl machine, the one that you sit on and you have these little handles.
Yeah.
I don't like that thing. I put the easy curl bar between it and I do it that way.
I tried it once and I haven't gone back to it.
No, it's crazy. It's just really hard on the wrists and all that.
It is. It is.
Well, I want to thank you for coming on here.
Absolutely.
I'm sorry I have a cough. I'm not contagious. It's just I got smoker's cough from the guy next door.
Oh.
And I'm going to run some photos of you, and we'll follow your progress. And when you get close to a contest, we'll come on again and talk some more.
Sounds great.
These guys love this kind of stuff, and you have a lot to add to it. Is there anything you wanted to add? We cover everything?
Yeah. I think we did pretty good, yeah.
You like living out here?
I love California.
It's the best, isn't it?
It is. It is.
78 degrees right now.
That's right. 78 degrees. It's
sunny.
December 30th. Can't beat it.
No, it's summertime here. Unbelievable. Thank you, Jay.
Absolutely. Thank you, Rick.
Thank you so much. We'll post this today. You guys will have a look at him and his body and what he's done. It's phenomenal. Done really, really well. And thanks for watching Rick's Corner. Stay tuned for more over the new year because I'm not going to do any more this week. I'm going to take care of this.
It's rickdrasin.com. He is the equalizer, baby. See you next time.